This Finish Quantum cleans tough stains first time. Finish Quantum sponsors today.
Now, you're very welcome back. Now, we thought we knew everything about our next guest because he's been with us for so many years on this show. Yes. But he's here today now to share a very personal story.
That's right. For years, Tom Dooley lived with an hereditary condition that he didn't even know he had, and he is joined today by Dr. Dietary. Guys, you're very welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Tom, you were feeling unwell for a long time, and then in 2002 you said, you know what, I'll go to the doctor about this.
Typical man, yeah. I've been feeling absolutely wretched, particularly fatigued. It was the sort of unexplained tiredness and a sort of vague sense of being unwell.
And down a bit.
Down, rather depressed too. Yeah. I only realised that afterwards. And there were sort of things I couldn't quite put my finger on. So needless to say, being male, I didn't go to the doctor for ages and ages.
So how long is ages, Tom?
Probably 5+ years.
Wow.
And eventually went to the GP and said, I've been feeling terrible. And he said,
for 5 years.
He said, how long has this been going on for? And I said, oh, God, years. And he said, why don't you come and see me? I said, I'm just a man, you know. We're just hopeless at doing anything about our health, you know.
So doctor, eventually, Tom, I know that you had to go a few different routes, but Tom was diagnosed with hemochromatosis. Tell us what that is.
Hemochromatosis is a really common illness. We have the highest rate in the world in Ireland. About 1 in 80 people have hemochromatosis. Most people have no symptoms. And
is it too much blood in your iron? In just a very simplistic term.
Yes, it's too much iron in the blood.
Too much blood in your iron. Too much iron in your blood.
Too much iron in the blood. I'm getting confused now.
Yeah, I know.
And,
sorry.
And we build up the iron stores. Then we deposit that iron in the tissues. We deposit it in the joints, so that you get joint pains. In the muscles, so you get fatigue. In the liver, you get tired. In the skin goes bronze.
Because you know the way you'd think of iron as being a very, very important part of keeping you well. You know the way people take iron tablets, we hear of iron deficiency, but too much iron can be very counterproductive.
Yeah, too much iron, certainly. It's deposited in the tissues and it causes all the symptoms of hemochromatosis, liver symptoms, fatigue, as Tom experienced, diabetes, joint pain, very profound fatigue. But again, most people in the early stages have no symptoms, and therein lies the challenge.
That's the danger there, really.
That's the danger, absolutely,
okay. Yeah. So if you go in and do an ordinary blood test, I'd imagine now that this would cover that they check out the iron levels.
Yeah, that's a really good question, and most people would think that it is tested, but actually it's not conducted as part of a normal. It's a very specific iron test. So I would like people, you know, because if you ask most people, they'll know what their cholesterol is. Yeah. I would like people to ask their doctor, what's my iron level, and that they would be able to say, well, my cholesterol is 5 and my iron level is...
We all know those figures for cholesterol.
Yeah. But most people don't know their iron.
What should your iron be, or is there a figure?
That's a very good question. For young women, premenopausal, it should be under 200. And for everybody else, that's men and women or postmenopausal, 300.
What was yours, Tom?
1,400.
Oh my goodness!
Is that crazy? Yeah, to be honest, guess because we heard 1,400.
1,400 is a lot. You know, under 1,000 by and large, you avoid the complications.
Okay. With 1,400, is that life-threatening?
It certainly causes a lot of harm to the body.
Over a period.
Okay. In the liver, diabetes.
And I mean, it can be fatal, can't it?
It can be fatal.
If it isn't treated, the consequences are absolutely
terrible. The fact you can't, the symptoms don't come up is the big problem because it's there, it's happening inside you.
When you get the symptoms, some damage is done at that stage. And this is why, as Dermot says, you know, let's catch this thing before it becomes symptomatic. It's very simple. Just, you know, when you see your GP, say, by the way, can you check...
If you're feeling tired, you
check my iron level,
yeah,
you know, and just, it may have nothing to do with it, but at least know the number.
Exactly. Tom, so for you then, to deal with this, you had to take a lot of your blood.
Yeah, over a year and a bit, a year and a half, I had what's known as a venesection, which is basically like giving a blood donation.
Yes.
It's about the same amount, it's about 500 mils. And I was doing that at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. And I have to say I'm very grateful for the process. And many people get through that without any problems at all.
Would you not be tired?
I was knackered.
Yeah,
I was scraping myself off the floor.
Yeah.
And of course I thought, I've discovered why I'm so tired. Now I'm being treated for it, and I'll be feeling fantastic. It didn't happen like that. But after about a year and a half, 2 years, I really began to feel the difference and to realise that you get used to feeling terrible.
Yeah, and that becomes the norm.
It becomes the norm, and I think a lot of people. This is the reason why they don't do anything about it. This is probably the reason why I didn't go to the GP.
I had a very different experience where one of my patients had a very elevated iron level. He was a new patient to the practice, and we took a pint of blood off him, and he rang me the next day to say his joint pain had gone away overnight.
Yeah.
So it depends on the patient.
Yeah. But there are very effective treatments. It's very straightforward, but people have to know their iron level.
Do you know, it seems almost Dickensian when you're talking about this type of, it's
so
like kind of spilling of blood.
Yeah.
I know, but
It's so simple, yeah.
doctor, from your perspective, how much blood can you take out of somebody and they can still be okay?
We'll replace it. You'll easily make a pint a week.
And do you put anything back? Are you not losing nutrients and other nutrients?
You're removing iron. Like if you think of certain foodstuffs are very high in iron, and blood is very high in iron, so that's how we get rid of the iron. It's the easiest way.
Did you have to change your diet and then?
No.
No?
I mean, problem about hemochromatosis, there are a lot of views about what to do. I mean, once you get beyond the point of having the blood taken off and getting your ferritin level down to a safe kind of level, and people said, oh, you'll have to avoid eating liver, which would be no hardship for me. Black pudding, oh, that'll be a problem. Red wine, oh, come on. And in fact, what I've discovered is that you can eat anything you want within reason, provided you get bled, as I call it.
Seriously, it's bloodletting.
And that's what I say. I say to people very casually, I'm off to be bled.
The one food we would encourage people not to have is raw shellfish, particularly oysters. That can be really nasty for people with hemochromatosis. They can get a very nasty bacterial illness.
What happens to blood actually that's taken from Tom? Can it be used
again? If a healthy person.
The blood transfusion service in Cork and Dublin can use it, which we would like to see expanded countrywide. At the moment, a lot of it is exported and incinerated.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, you are in favour of doing this venesection, that GPs can do it. Right now, if you have private health insurance, I could go to you as a GP and you could remove my blood every week as Tom needed, but it's not on the medical card.
It's quite time consuming. It takes at least 30 minutes in the practice, and the HSE at the moment don't reimburse general practice for doing it.
Okay, so you have to go to a hospital if you have medical insurance. Okay.
You're doing your job, you have to be paid for it.
We actually asked the HSE for a statement on this, and they told us that the department is considering suitable approaches to the delivery of venesection services in the wider primary care setting, having regard to patient safety and service quality. But I suppose if there are so many people with this condition in the country, they probably have to look at it. If you have hemochromatosis, is it likely that other members of your family will have it too?
It's a genetic condition, so yes. I mean, I have a certain number of cousins who have it, and I was the stalking horse, so to speak, because I was the one who discovered first, and then we traced it back to, I think, a great-great-grandmother who died of diabetes, and of course diabetes is one of the main complications.
So if you go to the doctor, if you're doing a blood test, while you're in there, check out the iron
level and know your number.
Because this could be happening inside you. You won't have any symptoms, and you could be doing damage at the moment.
And I can imagine as well, even for pregnancy and women, that type of thing would be an issue as well. So it's important to know your iron level, just like your cholesterol. Guys, thanks very much. Tom, great to see you.
As are you, gentlemen. As are you.
We just met you. We're looking at me very dark.
Because Doug is like this all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. Guys, thanks very much. There is an awareness week actually coming up in June, but before that, if you have any questions on hemochromatosis, we've got a number on a screen there, and we will put that on our Facebook page as well. All the information will be there, and that, of course, is RT Today. Now, it's time for our competition. £2,000 up for